Hello there, Internet, and you fantastic creatures of the beyond. I'm a bit of in a creative mood, so let's try to make something interesting. Let's start with an ellipse, and I'm gonna make a very generous ellipse like so. Oops. Let's fill it up with, I don't know. I'm gonna make it grayish like so. I'm gonna remove this. And. I'm not really sure what I want to make in this ellipse, but more than this, let's make a background. I really want a background. So let's create a rectangle. Go something like so, put it on the background. Let's make it darkish. Let's make it even bigger. I don't know, something. And this is just for me to zoom in more or less, but whatever. Okay, I'm gonna lock this rectangle so it doesn't go out of place. What should we do into our circle? Let's make some shapes. Some wavy shapes, because I'm in the mood for waves. This is kind of what I was going for when I first imagined this prototype in my brain. So let's make it, I don't know, let's give it a color like this. I should have brought in... Damn it, how should I do it? File... New from template. Let me just get this one. Oh, I have to unlock it. Where, oh where did I put these things? Okay. Let's move it here. There we go. I don't need you anymore. And... oh. What did I press? Jeez, what did I want to do? Oh yeah, control. Yeah, I wanted to see this, so I'm gonna move the palette on its own thing. We might use it to position stuff. Actually, let me lock it. So I'm gonna lock this and this. Perfect. Now, this one, let's make it as a clipping mask. And there is something interesting I discovered. I don't know if I told you guys, but if you're going to... Actually, I don't even need to do it like so. Oh, come on, no. Why did you do that? Interesting. Come on, wake up. Okay, if you go into preferences, in behavior, in clipping and masking, you have these options over here. And if you enable this one, put every clipped masked object in its own group, basically we don't have to create groups anymore. What do I mean by that? So right now if I duplicate this, create it as a color mask, whatever, and I'm selecting this and I'm setting set clip, it's automatically embedding it as sort of a group. Before I had to create the group before and after that I would create the clipping action. But I suppose it works better this way. The music is not super loud. I hope. Maybe I should lower it even more. Okay, that should be better. Anyway, maybe lower it. Never mind. It's kind of loud in my ears. Anyway, so what should we do here with this shape? I'm gonna make it a bit more wavy. I don't know how to approach it. I think I'm gonna give it... Actually, let's duplicate it. I'm trying to arrange things in here. So I'm gonna duplicate it and I want to make a border. Actually, you know what? Let's try to change the color of the first one. So like so. And okay, I'm putting this border here. This stroke may be a 20. Maybe that's too much. 10 or 5. 5. Maybe even 5 is too much. Let's try a 3. Okay, that looks okay. Now, let's concentrate on this color. I kind of want to... Let's desaturate it. Move it more into the blues. Yeah, dark desaturated blue. Maybe even more blue. We're getting somewhere. Kind of like this. Okay. Okay. Let's make this shape into another mask. And let's apply it to this border. And let's make this border... Let's give it a blur. Maybe that's too much. 5. Now a 6. Maybe a 5. Yeah. So let's kind of move it around. Maybe I'll make it even better. Let's give it a 5. Yeah, there we go. And I'm just gonna slightly move it. Actually, I wanna keep it better here and thinner over here. Definitely I'm gonna lose it over here. Maybe move this one out as well. Let's have a look. It's not bad. Maybe the color is a bit strong. But I think it's not enough. Let's push it a bit inwards. And actually, let's make it a 10. So I have more leverage to work with. Maybe more outside. Even more from this side as well. Okay, I like this. I like it. It has to be subtle. It doesn't have to be too powerful. Maybe I'm gonna push it a bit like so. Now, maybe I want to create a shadow. I have a few options here with the shadow. Let's try to drop the shadow with a path effect. Not with a path effect, with a filter actually. So I'm gonna drop it for this thing. Filter, filter editor. And we're gonna make our own. No. That's an interesting question. How do I want to drop the shadow? Okay, first let's make it and let's give it a name. Shadow external. Let's make it... Yeah, let's leave it external for now. And I haven't applied it yet. I don't know exactly what to apply to it. Maybe a displacement map. No, not a displacement map. Oops. Save. Let's make sure we're saving. An offset, maybe an offset. And let's apply it to the alpha. Oh, come on. Apply the filter. And now let's create a merge between the offset and this. And let's move our offset it like so. And a bit like so. Or maybe I should have gone with an offset. I mean with a life path effect offset? I don't know. Oh, that's too much. Let's blur it. But only the offset. And let's actually blur it quite a bit. Not looking too great. It's clipping these edges here, kind of setting it ugly. Okay, for now I'm gonna disable this filter and keep it as a backup. Let's actually create it. Like so, let's make it black. And let's go with the life path effect. And let's add offset normally. Is it working though? Oh yeah. Okay, that looks a bit better. Now, for now I'm gonna leave the filter editor alone. Yeah, that looks way better. Maybe I'm gonna push it even further. And I can also control the opacity at this point. Let's focus more on this. I don't really like how... Right now we're just prototyping. I'm not sure exactly what we're making. But it sure does look interesting. Okay. Next idea. Okay, let me just give them some names. So this one is the shadow. This one is the base. This one is the edge. At least they're just temporary names. Let's call this sphere. Just so we have an idea of where we are. And this one is going to be background sphere. So I'm gonna lock it. Okay, I'm gonna make another filter. I'm gonna apply this filter to our base. So let's create a new filter. Let's call it texture. Wave texture. Okay. And I'm not sure what to add into this texture. Let's go... For now you're not gonna see anything because I didn't apply it. But let's apply a turbulence. Good. Now this turbulence is quite... okay. So let's push it even more. Okay, now let's introduce a composite. And let's put it in. Good. So far, so good. Now, what should I do with this turbulence? I think I'm gonna go for a diffuse light. So let's add a distant light. Let's add some strength to it. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay. Let's give it a bit of elevation. Oh, that's too much. Maybe way less. Okay. I think this one looks okay-ish. Good. So far, so good. Now, let's see. Maybe we should add a... I don't know. Let's try a blend mode. But I'm not entirely sure how to apply it, so I'm just gonna kind of play with it. Let's try a color. Overlay doesn't look too bad. But let's try color. No, color doesn't work at all. Luminosity isn't bad either, but we might have to soften things up a bit. So let's introduce a Gaussian blur. Okay, maybe that's too strong. Okay. Just to soften things a bit. I'm not sure about the luminosity. Let's try hue. No. Difference. Yeah, let's go with overlay. So right now without the filter, with the filter. Okay, I think the diffuse lighting could use a bit more constant. And a bit more elevation. Maybe a bit of this. Not too much azimuth actually. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, I think that's close enough. Now let's see about the turbulence. We push it more. I kind of like it. So the more I push, the more islands I create, but I think that's too much. Let's try something. Maybe like this. Okay. The we might need... I don't know actually what we need. Maybe a bit of opacity. So let's get some component transfer in here. And I'm gonna go linear. Whoa, 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 whoa. And I think a 0.5 would dim things a bit better. Let's see more about that color though. For now I'm gonna disable the filter. And let's... I don't know. Let's go with a gradient here. I'm gonna manually do it. So let's increase this. Let's go something... Well, maybe that's too dark. Bit like so. Maybe a 25. Okay, let's enable back our filter. Kind of strong though. And for our base, maybe I could dim it as well to 80%. Kind of like this. Maybe the gradient could use a bit more work. Let's not get distracted of this edge right now. I'm gonna find a way to solve that. But that looks good. For a first attempt. Could do some more things though. Let's actually do something interesting inside here. Not sure exactly how this is gonna look like, but let's just try. Oops. Okay, so no background. I'm gonna make this stroke maybe a 2. 2 doesn't look too bad. Okay, let's try to curve it up a bit. Okay, maybe this one doesn't look too good. Hey. Okay, that's much better. Maybe I should also position this so. Well, as good as we can make it. Now let's put this one inside here somehow. Okay, that's a problem. No, it's a problem because I've taken the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. So, actually, why am I struggling so much? Let's make this a 1. And actually, let's duplicate it. And I'm gonna slightly move it like so. Let's make it dark. Maybe not that dark. Or maybe darker. Some weird reason this one looks thinner than the other one, but it's a trick of the light. Let's actually make this one a 2. Good. Now, let's blur this path a bit. Oh, that's too much. Good. Good. Now let's give it... Let's put them both in a group. Let's call it a theme. And let's try to, I don't know, try a few blend modes here. Not much to work with. Am I even applying it? What the heck was I clicking on? Hmm. Doesn't seem to get affected. Okay, I'm just gonna reduce its opacity then. For now at least. I don't know. Normal. Hmm. Okay, so with what we've learned so far, let's try to make... So this is my first group. I'm just gonna call it shape 1. Let's actually duplicate our shape and move it inwards. Shape 2. Actually, I'm gonna remove the seam on shape 2. And let's go to the base and change the color. Well, I need a new gradient, I suppose. So let's try, I don't know. Something like this. A slight hue to the left. So maybe I should copy this color here and make it darker afterwards. There we go. Good. Now, now this is the complicated part. How do we move everything? So let's just try to kind of change the shape. Ah! Inkscape is squealing at this moment. It's like, what are you doing to me? We are sacrificing it. Well, that's not very convenient. What the heck happened here? Oh. Well, that sucks. Yeah, okay, I know what I need to do. Oh, no, 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 no. Wait, I'm on shape 2. Oh, I have to disable the mask and the clipping mask and re-enable it to create a separate clip. Otherwise, it's a clone of the first one. Well, actually, I could just... Well, whatever, set clip for now. now let's move it like so. There we go. I know I can create a duplicate, but for now I'm just trying to see how it looks. It's quite interesting. Okay, let's see the shadow on shape 1. Okay. That looks better. I don't know about this sim though. For some reason it's just not clicking with me how I wish it to click. I don't know why. I wanted to have a blend mode, but it's not working. Maybe it's because it's not affecting the edge, probably. No, I haven't thought of that. And if I transform it into a path, that's gonna be a sting. Because then I would have to add a life path effect to follow the path. Thinking, what should we do here? Maybe if I make it even smaller. Okay, let's try at 0.5. Whoa, 0.5 I said. I think I know what the problem is. It's not the thickness, although this one... Let's go back. Okay, I know what the problem is. I'll put this on 1. I'm gonna make it a bit more dimmer. And I should also dim this one as well. That's kind of better, maybe even more. Actually, no. Let's bring back the colors. And... I feel I need to do something, but I'm not entirely sure how to apply it. Okay, let's try a gradient. Let's see how it works. I'm not sure. Yeah, the gradient isn't gonna work. Oh wait, but I need to add the gradient to the stroke. Ah, but this is a problem now. Yeah, because it transforms both gradients at the same color. Damn it. Oh, that's really bad. Hmm. Hmm. I do have an idea, but it's kind of complicated. But what the heck? Let's test it. So let's take an ellipse. Actually, not an ellipse. Let's go with a normal path. Something like so. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna make it white. And I am going to apply it as set as a mask. Okay, that's not bad, but but okay, release mask. Let's see if we can apply a blur to it before we apply the mask. Okay. But this is not favorable to us. Let's undo. And actually, I'm gonna create a new thing here, controller. And let's take our shape, duplicate it. Oops. Create it as a clone. Move our controller over here, but we should be careful. Okay, so let's test our controller now. Perfect. Okay, let's apply this to this. Set as a mask. Oh, I don't know. It just doesn't work sometimes. I need to set it here. Set mask. Good. And in our controller, we're gonna push the blur quite excessively. That doesn't look bad at all. I just need to modify the shape a bit. Okay. Well, that's too much. Yeah, I like this. I like it. Let's move it up. Now let's see if we can apply... Where was it? Let's see if we can apply a blend now. It's kind of elusive, it doesn't show much. But it softens the edges here, and this is what I was going for, although maybe I could have achieved it some other way. Though I'm kind of complicating my life now. Because I've created so many steps. But right now we're just prototyping, so I'm still thinking of how to make this a bit easier. Well, I'm not really sure there is an easy way to do it. Okay, let's push this one here. I just want it a tiny bit. Because now that I think about it, it's gonna be a freaking pain to modify the shape. But it's better than with the alpha to create the shadow. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 elements that follow the curvature. Yeah, I really don't know how to simplify this. I could, in theory, create clones. But that's a bigger problem, because if I try to duplicate the layer, then it duplicates the clones of the original shape. Okay, so let's leave the clone idea in the background. Now there is another problem. The pattern here is exactly the same as this pattern over here, so let's try to address this. I'll try to duplicate it. Let's call this 1, and let's call this one 2. And now in here I'm gonna change the turbulence pattern. Okay, that looks decent. At least it's not repetitive. Question. Let's test this. So if I'm gonna do an ellipse over here, whatever, and if I create a clone after it, and now let's say I want to offset the clone. But that's a problem. I have to make a special type of clone because then I can't change the color, and then it's complicating things again. Interesting, interesting. I'm not entirely sure. Creating the shapes in advance is also a possibility, and then adding the texture and shadows afterwards. But then I also have to consider the shape of these edges. But yeah, this is an interesting question. Let me try something. Although not very pleasant. Well, let's make it a less strident color. Okay, so I'm gonna put this like so. Let's try to make it as a clip. Okay, so technically, if I should modify the path, yes, the clip follows. This is kind of the principle of using grouped clipping. Okay, that at least would solve the problem with the shape for the mask. So I can modify it easier. But not the problem with the shadow. So the shadow has to be duplicated from the original shape. And then I would have to offset it. Still, it's better than... Yeah, definitely I'm gonna create clones of the... Okay, let me remove this. Of the masks. Although I won't be able to color them clearly because they have the same color. But then there's another problem. The mask would be a clone. And I'm not sure if it inherits. Although I'm not sure if it matters. So let's test this. In our... Well, I'm gonna block this. So, our edge over here is masked, right? So if I release the clip, There we go. Now I'm gonna select the base, make it as a clone. Set clip. Okay, so if I modify the base now, yes, it works. Okay, that's good. But the filter is applying to that, although the filter won't be displayed because the mask is not being displayed. But it will add to our file size. Well, not by a lot, but still. The more things we add, the more complicated it becomes. And maybe I should create it the same for the second one. But then again, it's the problem of the shadow. How do I deal with the shadow? Yeah, I'll have to investigate the shadow because there could be a solution. But I'm not sure exactly how to make the shadow expand using the path effects. Let me see, what do we have here? We only have I do have the offset, but the offset only moves it. So I need, maybe the Gaussian blur could work as an offset. I know there is a way to offset things with the Gaussian blur. It's kind of a hacky thing. Okay, let's make a test. Although that means that I'm gonna make the shadow dark, but whatever, we can live with that. So let's create our filter. Let's go with the offset of the alpha. Light, and then let's go with a merge. And now our offset is ready. Ah, 1.5 and 1.5. Okay, so let's add here a Gaussian blur, but that adds everything to that. So I need to add it only to this. But how do we move it? How do we expand it? Yeah, it has to be something very specific. Let's try for now a displacement map. Let's see how it works. Not really good. So yeah, that's a problem. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, let's move this offset back to 0, 0. Okay, we're doing something here. The problem is the clipping, so let's let's put a 2 and a 2. Ah, that's excessive. One point 3 and 1.3. Okay. Now let's displacement is eating some of the edge here. That is not desirable. Well, for now I'm just gonna leave it like so. And I need to figure out something more smart to go around this limitation. But yeah, we're making some interesting progress here. Doesn't look all that bad, although this effect is not desirable. I'm gonna continue fleshing out some more solutions, especially for the shadow. The shadow is tricky as hell. But we are clever. We are clever. We'll figure something out. Okay, guys, stay awesome. Catch you in the next episode. Bye, 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 bye.